Township Committee and residents of Mount Holly. I'm Latham Tiver. I'm the not newly elected, I'm the freshman senator. And we're on a town tour and trying to hit every town in our district just to introduce ourselves and just basically say hi. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, the constituents, navigate the state circle, it's pretty crazy. Unemployment's still a big issue, very big issue after COVID. So our staff, John is our staff. He's one of 4 or 5 that we have in the town, or in the office. We are in the Elmwood Executive Park in Evesham. So if anybody visited Gene Stanfield or knows Gene Stanfield, same office, same staff, nothing has changed. Just Gene was a lot prettier face than mine. So I'm gonna leave some pamphlets here for you. If you want to pick them up tonight, or if you want to take some at your office or to the municipal building, leave them there and they can be picked up. I'll leave some business cards as well. And please feel free to call any issue that you may have. Give us a call and we'll do our best to help you out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Mention he's going to leave some literature in your business.
Do you want to bring it back on the back there?
Yeah, for the
Okay.
residents to
Okay.
come back here and they can take them as they leave. All right. So we have approval of minutes. So we have the June 10th, 2024 executive session and the June 10th, 2024 council meeting. Can we get a motion?
I have one thing that I have a question with. I think on the executive session, there was one other group there, the Global Integrity Willie Corp. They were there in the executive session with us too. We can add them to the minutes.
Absolutely.
Please, yeah. Yes, please.
Motion to amend?
Yeah. Yep.
So we have a motion, we have a first for a motion to amend and adopt. Do we have a second? We have a second? Yeah, 2 seconds. So,
Take one.
all right, roll call?
Ms. Astor?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Burkett?
Yes.
Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a resolution to reappoint new tax collector. We have resolution 2024-74, resolution reappointing Lisa Murray as our tax collector. Do you have any questions in regards to the tax collector? Can we get a motion? Make a motion, I already had it first.
I'll second.
We have a second, roll call.
Ms. Astor?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Burkett?
Yes.
Mr. Jones? Sorry. Mr. Banks? Mr. Jones isn't here.
Mr. Jones is not, yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right, that has been passed. Okay, we have matters presented by public. Members of the public are invited to submit comments during the public comment portion of this meeting. The council pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act will not publicly discuss any personnel matters and they choose not to respond to comments made by members of the public during the portion of the meeting. However, the council will give all appropriate comments the appropriate consideration and will refer all individual complaints to the town manager or appropriate township representative. Each citizen is allotted up to 3 minutes to speak in order to allow everyone an opportunity to express their opinions and concerns. And before we open it up to the public, there's some things I want to say first. It came to my attention that there were some concerns about how we collect trash in this town. And I'm pretty sure a few of you, or as I hear, want to voice your concerns and we're here to listen. And some of the changes that were proposed, we want to kind of give you the facts first and foremost. And as mayor, I wanted you to hear from me directly. And for some of the options that we are considering in this regard, I know how it may impact how the residents may proceed moving forward. So we want to make sure everyone is clear on all the options that are available and why this is occurring at this particular time. Now, trash is one of the most costly things for a municipality to deal with, and it's not easy. And our goal is always to keep our costs to the residents down low as possible. We've been working with West Hampton for many, many years in a shared service agreement to offer the best possible price available to us. All right, they have decisions to make on their end, we have decisions to make on our end. We didn't come to any conclusion yet. This is one of the first opportunities we have a chance to talk about it. So it's one of the things where it's going to be, listen to the residents as well, listen to the council as well, and at the end, we'll come to some kind of resolution for the most part. So there are no plans right now to change the way we collect bulk trash. That's one of the things, the way we do the tree clippings or any of that, there's no change to that. There are options that are available. We'll discuss those options with the current contract. And before I open to the public, I just wanted to get this, tell you this. We've been diligent in terms of good government to make sure that our expenses are kept in check, to make sure our expenses are not exceeding what we can afford to pay. Also too, our current contract is set to expire at the end of this year, and all the options that are available to us right now are less than what we currently pay for the foreseeable future. So before I get into any details, and before we open it to the public comments, I'm gonna have our township manager provide you some details about the facts of this particular vote. Josh?
The current trash collector waste management contract expires at the end of the year. The township is in a cooperative agreement with West Hampton. The township has to be in agreement with whatever selection is chosen. Trash Pro consultant supplies the specs and agreement for the township. West Hampton asked that we explore the option of automated service. The township is required by state law to accept the lowest trash bid. In all three options, interstate waste management was the lowest bid. Either option 2 or 3 will result in at least $80,000 in savings from our current contract. The council chooses option 2, nothing will change in regards to trash collection besides the company collector. This option is a 3-year contract with 2 one-year options. The council chooses option 3, a 96-gallon cart will be supplied to each household. All trash would need to fit within that cart. Bulk trash would be scheduled with the township once a month. A second cart would be purchased for $65. The trash company was given the choice to provide front and rear load automated service. All roads owned by the township will be able to be serviced. Option 3 would require the township to bond $220,000 to give each resident a cart. We have been told by industry professionals that the companies are moving away from option 2, which is evident that our current contract for waste management did not bid on this option.
Okay, thank you. So I know there's no perfect system, and there's pros and cons with any option. So right now, before we open up to the public comment, you guys can, whoever want to talk about the actual trash contract, or whoever have any comments or questions, because some of the same questions you may have, some of the same questions we have as residents too as well. Most of them we will have answers for you. So I would advise you guys, if you want to talk about the trash, start lining up and behind the first row and have your questions or comments about the trash. Anybody have any questions or comments?
About the trash?
About the trash.
Would it be possible to have Mr. Brown stand up and speak next time if he's going, because it's hard to hear. I'm hard of hearing anyway.
Okay, we'll address whatever question you have, we'll try to answer those questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stone Laraway, 114 Branch Street in Mount Holly, New Jersey. My questions are with relation to Mr. Carty on trash. Can I address that?
You can address your concerns about trash in general, not about other people's comments. We're not here to talk about other people's comments.
Oh, wait.
But whatever questions you have about the trash contract, or whatever concerns you may have in regards to how it's gonna be done, what options that were available, then that's what we will entertain.
What role was played in the decision to have this contract? Were there any conflicts of interest for a certain person with the contracts?
I know no conflict of interest. But Josh, do you wanna reiterate what you said before in your speech, or people can hear? You wanna grab the mic, you can?
We spoke with West Hampton Township. West Hampton asked us to look at the automated service. I'm not sure how that's a conflict of interest.
You can't hear.
Thank you.
the microphone.
Josh, just grab the mic for a second. Thank you.
In relationship to his question, I just said that there is, West Hampton Township asked us to look at automated service. We explored options. There was no conflict with it.
Next.
Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Brand Street. In regard to the trash collection, Josh, I heard you say, I think, Mr. Mayor, you said it was gonna be cost effective, less than we're already paying, right?
Currently.
So my concern is if it's only allocated at one garbage can per household, right?
That's one option. So
That's one
which
option.
option are you referring to?
Well, it says here you can purchase a second car for 35, I
So
mean,
you're referring to option 3? It's 3 options, you have option 1.
okay, yeah, so option 3,
Option
for
three.
$65, you can purchase a second car. What is the maximum amount of carts you can have within a household? If you have larger households versus, I have a large household, so I don't think how could that be viable if I have 4 kids and I got kids home from college and I got nieces and nephews, my trash level is gonna be higher than my neighbor who's maybe elderly, their children have already grown. So how can that be viable to me? That's what I'd like to know, because it's not fair to limit me to 2. Okay, so and now you're talking about, okay, you're gonna insure, or we have to insure other charges, because now we have to find a way to get that rest of the trash to the dump. It's gonna be an environmental hazard because of the mice, the rats, the rodents gonna come. I have a rental property, that means I have to double up on how much I have to put out, because I have to give my renters a trash can. And what about these side streets? My niece lives right here on Church. You're talking about arms. Are we gonna now enforce alternate side of the street parking? I mean, what are we gonna do? Because it's just not about, I understand what you're saying, but West Hampton and Mount Holly demographics are different. You know, we are very different from them.
I appreciate your concerns
Thank you.
as well. Josh, you wanna take that?
With option 3, the maximum allowed is 2 carts per household. If you read our current ordinance, it's 5 20-gallon trash cans. So that's basically the equivalent of 1 trash can. So if you're putting out more trash than 1 trash cart, you're actually violating our ordinance as it currently states.
Right.
That being said, now she also said about the streets, and like I said, each company was offered trash company is offered the option of front or rear load. Usually they just add a rear load kind of device onto the back, so it services those smaller streets.
Right. And basically, from what I understand with option 3, there's no different than the carts are the same size as your recycling carts. And we've been recycling in Burlington County and Mount Holly for many, many years doing the single stream. So it's similar to that in that situation. So sometimes, in regards to the trash cans being bigger, it will fit more trash. But that's only one option. There's other options too as well. So, but I don't want to take up too much of your time.
My concern is residential
Just
streets like
state your
Langstaff.
name,
Sorry.
name, address.
Alright. My concern is residential streets like Langstaff, which is very narrow, and we have one family that has no parking. So their cars are parked on the street. Our current trash truck constantly has problems getting up and down the street. Not to mention the fact that we have to contend with the liaison. We also have some young neighbors who don't follow the ordinance that says you put it out the night before and you take it in the next day after they take the trash. They leave them out in the street, wind blows them all over the place, et cetera, et cetera. With the narrowness of only one vehicle being able to pass at a time because parking is on one side of the street. And the fact that we're dead end, how are we gonna be able to adjust if we go to these bigger trash cans with these automated arms?
Well, we didn't go to
Is
that.
the township gonna work with us?
Well, the truck, here's the thing, the trucks, no matter what size of the truck, it's gonna probably be an issue on the street.
Yes, it is.
Right, so whether it's gonna be the automatic arm or the rear loading arm, so
Mhm.
that's an issue. But from other towns and other cities that are going this way, In terms of if you go with the automatic arm or rear load, that's always gonna be an issue, because trash trucks are huge.
Yes, I agree with
This
you.
street is small, there's a lot of small streets here, but that's something that, recycling truck is big too. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have the same issues too, right?
Cause I don't have a problem if it's at a designated spot. Like if you do one set spot here and one spot here. I have no problem taking my trash can down.
With the neighbors in the cars, basically.
You're right, because wherever they put their trash cans, when the wind blows,
Right.
they come in my yard,
Gotcha.
or they go in my neighbor's yard.
I mean, if you think about option three, one of the things about option three, the benefits of it is everything has to fit in that particular trash can, so technically, you may have less trash being blown.
I doubt that because
It's
we
a
now have
possibility.
4 new babies on the street,
It's a possibility.
and everybody's overrunning with trash.
Right, but that's also a possibility, is you have less trash to be on.
And they don't, are these containers secured? Because, no disrespect to my neighbors, but they're young, they don't secure their trash, the animals tear through it, it's all over the place.
Do they have trash cans now, or do
They got trash cans now, but they're all tore up.
They're all tore up.
And they actually put holes in the top of the lids. Why they do that, I don't know, but the animals are going right in, pulling the dirty diapers and everything else out. That's why,
That's your concern with your neighbor, that's a legitimate concern.
okay?
I mean, we can't, it's not gonna solve every problem,
Right,
so it's one of those things where this is open for discussion
right.
at this particular time.
Well, this is why I'm presenting it now, because at the end of Langstaff, where it meets Hillside, that's a T.
Yes.
You have people across the street parking. And a lot of times the trash truck has to back up. He can't come in forward, he's gotta back up. And sometimes they spend 10 minutes
10 minutes trying to back up.
trying to back up, and sometimes they have to ask the neighbor to move his recycling trucks out the same way. And sometimes they have to ask the neighbor to move his truck or his cars forward or backwards so they can back in. He's good about it, don't get me wrong, he does it,
Right,
but it's a problem for them,
yeah, gotcha.
okay?
For the driver,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Amber Coperwas, 100 Madison Avenue. My first question is just because I couldn't quite hear all the way, or just want to clarify. Josh, you said there wouldn't be a change to like bulk pickup, but then stuff does have to fit in a can if we go the automated route. So I just
We'll pick up an option 3 will be once a month.
okay, because right now, as long as stuff is bagged, we can put it out, right? Like I just got rid of the mattress and I was able to bag it, put it at so that would change.
Yes.
Okay.
Option 2 would stay, but option 3 is once a month. You have to contact the township and schedule it to get the.
Okay.
Call us and say, hey, I have a bulk, we're gonna take down your address.
And just
forward
to
it
be
the
clear,
trash
that's,
company, and then they
Me
will come
neither. I don't
with a
like
truck
them in my
and
yard.
get everybody's bulk.
Okay.
and that's to be clear, that's for option 3, right? Option 3.
That,
Yes.
Office is made for it.
okay.
Option 2, everything remains the same as it is now.
Okay, option 3 is you call, and is it one designated day a month, or is it just when, like, I just call?
I don't know,
We
because
don't
we
know.
haven't
We don't-
worked
we
out
haven't-
those
Okay.
final kinks yet,
The
but
logistics
yeah.
of that, we haven't discussed at this particular time, but we're just trying to give you answers to any questions you possible.
Okay, thanks. And then I do have, and somebody who couldn't be here at the meeting, like, has some similar questions or concerns, so she sent stuff over to me also. And I think they're along with some other people, but just about the automated arm, again, like concerns about space and parking, and some of the streets that you guys talked about that. Also just raising the issue of, if we go to an automated arm, we're replacing human jobs, and I know that some companies are getting away from that, but when you look at the big layout was kind of 3, 4, and 3. So it wasn't as if there was an overwhelming, bigger number willing to do automated versus how it is now. Also the issue of just purchasing trash cans, especially there are people who already have similar trash cans that would maybe even meet the requirements, but they're not labeled by the township, so would people be able to still use those if they meet the specifications, because they're quite pricey. So if people already own 2 of them, to then have to buy a second one just so that it has like the emblem on it, would be expensive. And again, issues of just like limiting trash, and I actually have questions about, we have a lot of multi-family dwellings, So, you know, even if each unit gets one or can have up to two, they don't all have a lot of frontage on the road. You know, like it might be a 4 or 6 unit, you know, thing, but only have, you know, this much sidewalk on the front, so like where do all those cans go? Just getting clarification, I think, as this develops about what is pricier than what we're doing now, because if option 3 is more expensive than what we're doing, and people maybe generally would prefer what we're doing, then that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay, thank you.
All right. In regards, hold on, Josh, in regards to option 3 being more expensive,
Option 3 is actually cheaper without buying the cans are the expensive.
the cans are good, so the cans would be the expense. Option 3 is actually cheaper. If we need to purchase the cans are the expense at this particular time, but in regards, if we purchase them now versus purchasing later,
It's probably get a better price now.
probably get a better price now, but option 3 is the way we decide to go. Also too, the questions you had about if people had the same size trash can or something similar, I had the same question myself. So, we still haven't gotten an answer back yet.
I think that be negotiated with the contractor.
We have to negotiate with that, with the actual contractor, right? Okay. Hopefully that answers the question.
Nick Sedano, 47 Garden Street. I have a question about what I just heard was 2 cans per residence. So for rentals,
So which option are you referring to, Nick?
I wasn't 3? Thank you.
Option 3.
Okay. So how are we doing with a rental? Is that considered a single residence if it's one address and there's 3 families? Or is that 3 residences?
That was one of the questions I had too as well, in terms of how we handle multi-family residents.
Right,
That's pretty much right.
that's exactly right.
Based on the information you got, Josh, it was based on each unit would get 1 can?
Yes, except for if it goes above a certain amount of units, then they should have a dumpster. I think it's above 4 units, so if there's 5 or more units inside, they should have the dumpster.
If it's 5 or more units, it'd be required for them to get a dumpster, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Vince Amico from 24 Broad Street, and also I have a business in town. I'm really concerned because we don't have a lot of space, we're sort of landlocked, and we rely on the municipality to pick up our trash. There's no room for us to put a dumpster. So this really has me concerned. You know, I just want you to take that into consideration. I'm not the only business with the same we all have the same circumstances, particularly on High Street. So please be aware of that.
No, we understand, and we definitely understand that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Jeff Eversmeyer, 203 Broad Street. Unfortunately, I have no idea what you guys are gonna talk about because there's not enough paperwork back there to tell anybody in the township what you guys are talking about. So just from listening, it seems.
What do you mean, you ran out of copy, Victor?
Yeah, evidently, it seems like it happens every time, you just don't make enough copies for the residents, if there's too many residents.
You look like you have a copy.
Yeah, but I don't have anything about dumpsters.
Text me.
I only got half the part.
Text me, I'm in a meeting.
Well, I'm trying to go to the dumpsters first.
Yeah, I'm in a meeting.
I own a property with 4 units, but we only use 1 garbage can, so we're gonna have to buy 3 of them. We only use 1 for 20 years. So because there's 3 units, because I don't have room for 3 garbage cans in that rental property. So are we gonna have to buy 3, because there's 3 apartments there?
Buy it.
Okay, just use what.
You don't have to buy any, because the township will be, if you go with option 3, township will be providing you a card.
Okay. So, yeah. My next question, I think actually having big garbage cans solved a lot of the problems back when we started recycling, because everybody used to put the garbage out in paper bags and we wouldn't live and all over the town. So maybe that part is a great idea, to have 1 big garbage can that everybody's gonna use. Hopefully. My next question is, my problem's always been code enforcement in Mount Holly. And as you all know, we have a lot of houses, I guess we still have code enforcement officers. I think we used to have 3, now we're down to 1, which I don't know why we did that. So I'm looking at I just happened to drive down Washington Street. We've got 3 houses on Washington Street that are being renovated. One doesn't even have a first floor, they have it jacked up with 2x4s, there's nothing there, and you're gonna pull back the house off. How in the world with code enforcement, Josh has been in charge of it, he knows I've complained for years, how can these houses get in such disrepair before somebody buys them or takes them or gets them for free? And I don't know whether the township had any negotiations in getting these properties to the next person, or how it ever happened, but I've been arguing about some of these houses for 10 years, and some have historical significance. My question is, we have code enforcement, you can ride anywhere in town, and there's holes in roofs, there's porches collapsing, and nothing's done until somebody eventually takes them after almost no house left. So what are we doing about it? You're the mayor, he's the manager. We have code enforcement. I can walk down Washington Street, I can walk down any street and see major structural issues with homes that they've been sitting there for 10, 15, 20 years, and it seems like we never have an answer.
Well, the house is being worked on, that would be under construction and permits, that wouldn't be under code enforcement, so I'm not sure exactly.
Can you
So
speak
you're
up?
questioning how you're basically trying to say that how can the township not enforce its code?
How can the township allow these buildings, if you go, all the council members, take the township managers with you, the clerk, and everybody in town, the code enforcement official, and take them down Washington Street and look at those
I've seen
homes.
properties like that. Now, from that standpoint, Josh, we send code enforcement out, right? All the time.
It all depends on the property, you know, code enforcement on different levels on different properties. I mean, some people just don't wanna sell the property and it goes to disrepair. You can't just take somebody's property. So,
Right.
you know.
You
If it's in
can't,
the court, you can do all kinds of things, but you can't take somebody's.
so on those particular properties, have they been to court, have they paid fines?
Jeff, I don't know which property.
Okay, so I have to go down and Oprah it, and then you'll give me the information.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've done that before. And we have gotten some properties fixed because I stayed on top of them, and it probably would have never happened. My question is, why is it the township? It's their responsibility, not mine, to make sure the houses are up to code.
And we make sure we do that. Thank you. for
Would
your
you like to go
comment,
for a ride with me?
Jeff.
Would
Thank
you
for
like to
your
go
comments,
for a
Jeff.
ride with me?
Jeff, thank you for your comments.
Okay.
Richard, 232 Robin Avenue. All the way back there, I really couldn't hear, honestly, a lot of points here, so I'd just like a little recap, Josh, from you, Chris. We have options 1, 2, 3. And, one of those options, the township provides one garbage can at no cost.
That's
Is
option.
that correct?
That is option 3.
All right, that's option 3. One garbage can, no cost. Okay. Now, this garbage can is going to be the heavy-duty can, like recycling bin that we have now,
I think it's,
right?
I think 96 gallons.
The large one, the big one we got, the largest one we got. We had 3 sizes, I don't know what we have now, but the big one. And it's gonna have that same bracket, which means it has to face the street, or too bad. And that's the way it is with recycling right now. If it doesn't face, bracket doesn't face the street, I see them drive right by, neighbors get pissed, until they learn better. But it will be that same type of truck, same procedure, the truck will, grab it, the driver doesn't get out,
There's 2 different options.
okay?
One, the driver can have that one, that he just stays in the car. The other one's a rear load, which will cause the person to bring it up to the back of it and have it put in.
Which option is which? Option 1 is
All
they,
options.
no, but you have them
So
listed,
we
1,
have,
2, 3.
so, you're saying 3 options, right? So,
Anyone with a car, those are available, both of those
Okay.
options are
correct.
Okay.
And option 2 is if everything remains the same as it is currently.
Actual garbage men putting.
Garbage men,
Okay. Now, as far as the automated trucks, exact same system that the recycling process is right now? No, it's not an
You
option?
can have front or rear load.
Right.
It's up to the hauler to decide how they're gonna.
how do you want to do it?
Oh, the hauler's deciding if they're going to use the arm or if they're going to use a body.
No, they're gonna use an arm, but whether it's gonna be on the front or the back, the hauler decides.
All right, so if it's in the back, they have them in the back, yeah? Okay, so all right. And here's the mother of really the questions here, and that is, what are we looking at cost-wise? Is this an increase in the cost for the hauling that we have right now, including the tipping fees? Is it an increase, a decrease? Is it an increase for option 1, a decrease for option 2? What are we looking at in money here? That's the biggie.
All options are lower, so.
All options are lower.
All options are lower.
Option 1, where they provide the car, is 4% decrease from current rate.
All right, that's
Option
good.
2 is 16, option 3 is 17.
Okay.
So you're saving about $80,000 with option 2 or 3.
Okay, and all options include the big can.
No, option does not.
Option what?
2 does not.
Option 2 does not come with a can. That means everything, you keep your current cans, everything pretty much remains the same. Option 2.
All right, and, let me see if I answered that. But if we do go in an option for the automated can, is the township providing, I heard $55 a
The
can.
township will provide your first can, if
Right.
you choose option, say option 3. That's the only option where we are providing the cans. So we'll give you the first can, and you have the option to buy a second can for about, what's the price again?
65.
$65.
The cost that we pay.
The cost that we
It's the
pay.
same cost, right?
It's the same size cart. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, it's twice as much.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, they're expensive, and then, they get wrecked. So, if they do get wrecked, is the township replacing at some point? I mean, if somebody hits it with a car, somebody steals it, the old recycling bin used to have a barcode on it. Where we had that program when you got money, if you recycled, and they would actually scan the barcode, and we knew whose bucket was who.
Right.
So, do we have a replacement process if
The
somebody?
township will replace if it's, the waste management's responsibility, or whoever the fire collector's responsibility. If it's your responsibility, you damage your.
Right. And just to recap, there is no increase to cost for all these options.
No.
Good job. That's all I got.
I'm a champion, 3 Birch Avenue. My concern is actually less about the trash and less about the cost of it. And then I was kind of hoping to get in front of you before you gave tenure to any of the tax collectors. We have a huge problem with people who are protected from their taxes. It's all a who knows who's friends with who. And you have houses that have had their taxes lowered significantly for seemingly no reason at all, with no paperwork at all, and not insignificant decreases.
What are you referring to? Are you referring to? That's the assessor's responsibility?
Yes,
It's appealed to the assessor, it's not like there's no paperwork. You have to-
there's no paperwork because we tried to get it back in February. In fact, there's a huge paper trail on just these houses. The only reason we started with it is
Excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry. Do you have a list of those houses?
I have 2.
Okay.
And the only reason we started with it is because we know this one person at least is very well protected. And we only started following it after they attacked a 90-year-old woman. And my daughter and autistic brother witnessed it. But hey, nothing happens. So they have rehabbed a couple of houses which were supposedly in deplorable condition, although lived in. They moved right in. Their taxes were lowered over 30%. So they're now paying for 2023, $4,124 on this house. Now, that seems like maybe it's a bad house or something, but they lowered the assessment on 2.3 acres to be less than all of the neighbors. So somebody that has 2.3 acres is assessed at less than somebody that is lot 75 by 107, 0.41 and 0.2066 of an acre. I get it that houses depreciate, that they fall apart, that they need to be rehabbed. I don't get how in the state of New Jersey, prices of properties go down. There's no reason for that. And I don't know who is responsible for reassessment, but the township code enforcer has been out to this property multiple times. The police, the DEP, the health code department, construction. There have been so many calls, emails about different problems with this. Starting with the fact that they built in the wetlands and had their house raised, and instead of having it up on pylons, they now added a first floor. So they have a very nice 3-story house with a partially finished basement that they have just listed on the market for $590,000. But their tax bill is $4,000.
Do you have an address for this house?
Yep, and I will give you pictures, because the last one that the same people did, they sold it in December for $430,000.
December of 2023?
Yes, and they're paying, as of last year, and nothing's changed, 4,346. They have no land, but they have a very big house that was illegally built.
Josh, you wanna, give any comments on that particular?
You want copies of it, Josh?
I give it to him. Thank you, Ms. Champion.
No. Good evening, everyone. Rich DeFalco, 18 Winding Way.
Hold on, Rich. Hey, if you have a separate conversation back there, please take it outside or be quiet, please.
We're just trying to figure out if it's open forum now, or we're still talking about trash.
Is there anything you'd like to discuss?
Anything you'd like to discuss?
No, all right. That was mentioned at the start.
Okay. I just wanted to go back to the trash conversation. I'm looking at the documentation from the resolution that outlines option 1, 2, and option 3. That's on there. Now, based on prior conversations from Richard Dow and others that were up here, the consensus of the conversation was that all 3 options would save the township money at the end of the day, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, in looking at option 2, which still saves the township money, and the contract length can be 3 or 5 years of length, and based on the fact that the township would not exceed its current contract, meaning require a tax increase, would it make sense to do a 3-year contract with the savings, and everyone gets to continue to do trash as they do today?
Repeat that, Rick?
Option 2, 16% savings first year, with a contract length option can be 3 or 5 years. At a 5-year length, it was discussed that that would exceed the current contract that we currently have today, meaning it would cost more after year 5 or until year 5. To me, I think the question would be, would it make sense to do a contract length of 3 years at a savings to the township, and that everyone in the township can continue to have the trash picked up exactly the same way that they're doing it today, with their same trash cans, with the realized savings to the township?
So your option, you're basically recommending option 2, but a shorter contract.
This way you have the option to renegotiate after 3 years.
So Josh, you wanna take that?
There's a 3-year contract with an option to go into the 4th and 5th year.
So there's still an option?
At this rate.
Okay.
So, you can go without the break and then go back on the bid, but then you'd be subject to whatever the bid is.
Understood. Done. Just wanted to state that. Thank you.
Yes.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Because I think tonight we are officially, voting on who we are going to award the contract, not which option we're choosing. Is that correct? Correct.
I'll choose an option. I'll prefer we choose an option as well.
But I mean, that's not in here anywhere. So I'm a little confused. It looks to me like the resolution is awarding the contract. It doesn't say in there anywhere that we're choosing, but it has the options in there.
Right, the options are there.
But we're not, it doesn't say, like, when we literally vote on this, it doesn't say we're awarding it to this partner also, that it's option 1, option 2, or option 3. I just feel like it's a little bit unclear, and I think I was unclear, so I think, I just want to, because it looks to me officially like we are just awarding the contract in this actual little resolution.
Can we go on option 1 tonight? Absolutely.
We can.
And the sooner the
We
better.
can.
And so I'm sure somebody could move to go ahead and do that tonight, but that's not what's on the page.
That's not what's on, correct.
Okay.
You are exactly correct.
Okay.
It's not what's on there. But
We would
with
prefer to get
everyone's
that done.
concerns, and also too, this is still predicated on what West Hampton chooses to do. I don't know if they voted on what they chose to do.
Right.
Exactly. So
They had their meeting last week. Did they vote?
they didn't vote.
Not that I know.
I don't think, it wasn't on the agenda.
They didn't say that.
They didn't, right. So right now,
Technically, we're not holding them up, but.
we're not holding up the process, but
Thank you.
I see there's a lot of concerns.
Yeah.
We may as well, this is our time.
Yes.
Including us, including you guys, to actually discuss this particular,
I love it.
topic. So that's why we opened it up this way. If you do have comments, and everybody that spoke on trash, you guys can line up with your particular comments in a normal fashion, that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
But moving
I just wanted
forward,
to
I think
clarify.
once we get through this public portion, I think it's probably best to decide to go with some type of option.
Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you for that question. All right, Mr. Cal?
Bishop Dow, 232 Roland Avenue. I have a couple of questions. In the consent agenda, item G, about the mural. I think I'd like to see that considered separately, if at all possible, and of course.
Can you repeat that? I can't hear you.
Oh, sure. Regarding item G, can you hear me now?
G?
Yeah, item G about the mural.
About the mural?
It's in black and white, sorry.
Okay. Looks good. I don't know if anyone else sees information on it, but.
Yeah, this is a mural, I think, from our resident, Mr. Amico, Vince's Ice Cream.
It's from Main Street, Mount Holly.
And from Main Street, Mount Holly.
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
it's regarding to the Rancocas Street, right?
Yes, it is.
And
Rediscover the Rancocas. It's a theme. It covers the three different images, and they all cover the Rancocas Street.
yeah, so that's what that is. And that's on your, Vince, that's in your building, right?
Yes, it is. If you need any, information,
Sure.
I'll give you whatever information you need.
It does look good from the picture I saw just now, so I'm happy to hear about that. If it's at all possible to get any more information about items D through F, about urban renewal entities from my place, I'm just not quite sure what's going on there. I'd like to know a little more.
My place is trying to sell their units down there to a different entity.
Please.
So my place is considering selling their units to a different entity, the apartment units. This is just a resolution to move the pilot, the existing pilot, to the new entity. Same number.
This is an entity we've done business with before?
And it's not.
No. Okay. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Branch Street. First, I'd like to start out and thank Jim and Rich. We had a great Mount Holly celebration thing. It was awesome. Good job. Just following up what Rich Jr. just said about the urban renewal. My concern is, now he sideswiped me. Whoever the people that we're giving this contract to, are these units gonna become low-income units, or what are they gonna become? Nothing, you don't know?
Same units.
Same units, just a
There's
different?
no contract.
No contract, okay. All right, moving along. My first concern is the summer camp budget for the new recreation department. Since we have a new recreation director, are we getting on board with getting a new recreation committee going? And so if we are, what's going on with the summer camp? The bathrooms look great, thank you, they're painted. I did in fact go and fix them up like I do every year since Sean was there. My concern is this year, with the weather, they have one little rinky-dink fan in there. So are we just gonna wait for one of the workers to fall out who are normally teens, or are we gonna, we bought a stage, people, we can't afford to give these people, these young people, a fan? Come on guys, come on. I should not be begging for a fan. Every one of you should have been down there at that summer camp to see what's going on. Come on, please, you want the residents to come.
What's going on? Is it because it's hot outside? You want a fan?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it's hot outside, let's start with that, okay? And the children, the teens, who we pay, right? They work in this kitchen area with one fan, okay? One fan. People are sitting in their vehicles with the air conditioning running. So if we can afford to buy a stage, why can't we afford to buy a cooling tent? We understand our camp is outside. The camp is also bonded by, I believe, the Human Services Building. I called, you guys have a number. We're operating as a real summer camp. We need to operate on a real summer camp level, not half and half, a little here, a little there. Next situation, the traffic on 537, again, in front of my house. Now we have 18-wheelers. We have the warehouses going up everywhere. So what are we doing about the traffic on my street, 537 and Garden? 537 is a county road, I will deal with the county on Wednesday. But Garden Street, I'm watching 18-wheelers jackknife that corner. They're coming off of 537, making wrong turns, backing up. This is ridiculous. We have to do something about the truck traffic. Other situation I had was, I went to a Pemberton meeting. Some of you were at the MUA meeting. I went to a Pemberton meeting and I found out on accident that Mount Holly 2 years ago was contacted by Pemberton to run a sewage line for their warehouse district. So I understand there's really nothing in the making or the working yet, but my concern is we are struggling with our own sewage here. How are we gonna take the load of the sewage from the warehouses? And not only that, it's an environmental impact. Pemberton is fighting it. They don't want the sewer line running through their rivers. So the alternative is, and mark me, when I was at that meeting, they kindly told everyone in the audience, because we were there till 11:30 at night, how Mount Holly are their friends. So the friends of Mount Holly, that you guys are gonna let them run a sewer line all the way from Pemberton through Mount Holly to support warehouses. We have our own sewage problems here in Mount Holly.
Yeah, that's not a town council meeting.
It's just an MUA thing. So
That's
Mount-
all Mount Holly MUA.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, Amanda Jacobson, 433 Merritt Drive. I'm up here today basically because I wasn't really sure where else to go. Let me start off by saying if I stutter or if things are weird, I have OCD and thank you, this is kind of difficult for me. Back in October 13th of 2023, my street on Merritt Drive, the sycamore trees there are very old, and several of the trees during storms had big branches come down. They went through 2 of my neighbors' roofs. They had to completely redo the roofing. The trees are dead. We've had trees people come out. On October 13th, a service came out and cut down the top parts of my trees, and they said they'd come back and finish the rest when priority was around. That's what the workers also told me was, listen, you gotta call the township. You have to call them. They will forget about you. Just kind of be the squeaky wheel. So once a week from October 13th, I called to be like, hey, remember me? Because part of my OCD is I see these half torn down trees in front of my yard and it's like a needle in my side, which I realized they cut off the parts that are gonna hurt, so whatever. I never got any callbacks. I couldn't reach anybody. And part of what I wanted to point out, and while I'm here, we have 20 different phone lines on our website that all have 4 numbers. So I got a call from Joshua Brown on, I think in February, saying, Amanda, I've gotten your messages. It'll be handled by the spring. We're backed up. Once June came around and nothing happened, I started calling once a week again. Until about a week and a half ago, I was like, these trees are making me crazy. They're half taken down. It's something that needs to be handled. That I was like, I'm gonna set aside time today and call every number on the thing if I can reach somebody, just reach anyone. Every single time I called, my phone got shut off or it went to a voicemail, unfortunately Josh's, that was cut off. It said, you can't leave a message, there's too many messages. So I just kept calling thinking I'd reach somebody. Eventually somebody picked up the phone and they were like, what? Why do you keep calling me here? And I was like, well, assuming that the phone line was broken and I was trying to get through it. And they were like, no, I've had to listen to this phone ring 20 times. Why are you calling it this much? Josh isn't here today. And I was like, well, obviously I thought something was wrong with it. So I asked when this township meeting is and they told me. And not to like blow up a spot because seriously, I'm a citizen and I'm just trying to get something fixed. The email I got back says, I'm gonna read it. I apologize I was unable to answer your numerous phone calls yesterday, 20 to be exact, within a 10-minute time frame, but I had a death in the family and was not in the office. That's totally understandable, but again, I was calling for 10 months. I believe most normal people would consider 20 phone calls in a 10-minute time frame harassment. I am not sure if this is a result of the township not hiring you for the UEZ position, but I would kindly request that you refrain from making further calls. With the senator here talking about how unemployment is down in our state, having that thrown at me seemed pretty aggressive. So basically, I just want to clear the air. I'm not trying to attack Mr. Brown here. I really am not. It's unfortunate that so many of our websites' phone numbers go to the same person's email, but that should probably be something that's addressed. He did send me somebody who I should contact, but I feel like speaking to your citizens like that, I was not trying to harass anyone. Sometimes you just have to make time and sit down to try to reach an individual. So I'm here today. The trees on my street are still falling down on people's houses. If that could be something that's addressed, I'm fine with waiting, but I would also like to be able to contact somebody. And those phone calls I made in order were office hours on a business day. So, thank you, I'm sorry.
I appreciate it. My question is, are there all the trees township trees?
Are they what?
Are all the trees township trees?
I believe so, yeah. They're not on my property, they're between them.
hear you.
They're, on the, what's it called, the curtain between.
The curb between
Yes,
the house and
yes.
the sidewalk?
So I was told that by the township workers that came in and did the first batch to call, that's, why I was calling, to get the second part of it taken down.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jacobson.
Stone Laraway, 114 Branch Street. I have a few things to say. It's come to my attention that, and I wanted to call it out, it's absolutely appalling behavior for certain people to bully and intimidate certain members of our council. And there's no place in it for our community.
Are you referring to anyone up here, or what are you?
I'm referring to Mr. Carty. Are you aware of who Mr. Carty is?
Listen, whoever that goes on between other individuals.
I'm making a statement, sir.
I'm just telling you, we're not here to comment on.
Thank you. I stand in solidarity with Tara and others who are facing bullying and harassment for these individuals. Let's hold them accountable for their actions, and demand respect and civility in our local government. 2, it's great to see the decorum tonight at this meeting, but this hasn't always been the case. The mayor and the deputy mayor and others have in recent past exhibited divisive rhetoric and unbecoming behavior, rolling eyes, muffled voices, dismissive to all our constituents. Again, it's great that you're much better today, but only for, I assume, because we have representatives here tonight. Mr. Carty, as the head of Rancocas Valley Democrats, what was his role in his play in promoting the trash contract? How did he determine the contract is beneficial in Mount Holly residents despite not being a resident himself? Can he disclose any potential conflicts of interest given his business interest in Mount Holly? Keeping in mind, he doesn't live or reside in Mount Holly. How will you ensure that the contract serves the needs of the residents rather than just benefiting his business or political interests? What specific benefits does this contract offer to Mount Holly residents, and how will they be affected by it? How will he be held accountable for the contract's outcome given the influence of promoting it? Can he provide, or the town provide, transparency into any communications or meetings he had with the contractor or town officials regarding this contract? And how does he respond to concerns that using his political influence to benefit his own interests rather than serving the community? That's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, but I'm pretty sure your comments are all based, because it seems like it's about one individual that has nothing to do with this township. Josh, you want to go over some of the facts of the trash contract again? I think we addressed all the issues that concerns that people had.
I just wanted to go on record. Thank you.
That's fine with you. That's fine. Nothing to hide here. Go ahead, sir.
Fred Sampson, 314 Mill Street. Back to trash. I happen to have a garbage can that's identical to the recycling bucket, and there are others in the town also that have one. Happens to be gray, but it's identical. The current trash truck comes along, reaches out with an arm, grabs it, dumps it, has no problem. Why can't a sticker be created by the township and put on my can? So I don't,
Keep your current can?
I'm sorry?
You wanna keep your current can?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why
that's
can't,
the
why
same
can't,
question I had. I had the same question.
just make a sticker, put it on the can, so that it's, quote, legal, you know, for the, if all the people that have cans like that, if you don't have to buy cans for them, could save a good chunk of money.
So you're referring to which option again? Option what, 3?
Option, would be under option 3, yeah, where the township provides a can. You know, it's ridiculous to have to buy another identical can
If you're already getting
if I already have one, and I'm not the only person. So put a sticker on it, make it official, and it saves the township money. And probably you get a lot less complaints too.
Well, I appreciate your comments on that, Susan. That's one of the questions I had. So, you know, we're similar thinking in that.
Okay.
Appreciate this attention.
Richard Dow, 232 Rutland Avenue. I actually had a rethought or another thought on the garbage collection. As much as I'm pro big garbage can that's automated, the thought occurred to me that for senior citizens, that damn can, would be a burden for them, and that needs to be thought about big time.
He said for senior citizens.
For senior citizens, the large garbage cans would be a struggle. There needs to be some thought into that. As good as the big garbage cans, some people's opinion may be, it is what it is there. Now to the open portion here. I did have a couple of questions here and a couple of statements. But first, I was asked at a meeting not too long ago, was this council asked directly if they support open space? I'll wait. I want to make sure. I was asked if this council was asked directly if they support open space as far as the initiatives with saving woods, saving open space, the greenway, the creek walk that we once had in place, planned for, or not. That's a yes or no. That I really would like to have a yes or no. I asked this at a previous meeting, and that was the meeting where Mr. Mayor was saying we'd answer questions at the end instead of the better format we've got here now, in my opinion. And I didn't get an answer on that.
I must have missed that.
I'm sorry.
I must have missed that one.
That question. Yeah. Well, you have it now, and
I'll save my comments for that.
Okay. All right. Next, at that same meeting, there was discussion on code enforcement. Friendly code enforcement. And I mentioned to everybody there that at once upon a time, we did a door hanger. And this is the door hanger. And this door hanger, Josh, you may remember these, yeah? This door hanger was the friendly, hey, you got a problem here, fix it, or you won't have a choice to fix it next time.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes?
So we still use door hangers, correct, Josh? Right. Which changed? Which changed with the door hanger?
I'm sorry.
We still use door hangers.
Okay, I wasn't aware that, so you're saying that we are still doing the door hanger?
Assuming on certain properties, but we do still have them available.
Okay, so people should be getting a door hanger saying, don't park on your lawn. The nice, easy ones that don't cost a lot of money to fix, but, makes the town look a little better real quick. So we clarify on that. That's good to know. Now, I've been digging out some things, and with credits due, folks, it really needs to be put there. And here's something from back in 2011, January. And this was advertisements for breweries to come to town. And at the bottom of it, it says, contact Josh Brown. So this successful brewery industry that we have here in town, you may or may not be for it, and that's your opinion. But this successful brewery industry that we now have, you know, it's right here. Josh and Ryan Donnelly was in office at the time, and they pushed that through. And there's some credit due it's due, and I'm going through a lot of neat stuff, so that popped right to the top. In my place, one more. In my place, pilot that you mentioned, Josh, that's going to be rolled over, is the time period going to stay the same?
Correct, yes. Time period, it's not rolling over, we're just assigning it to a new person.
Okay, so it's staying on the same time frame. Where are we at on that? Because I thought they were 5-year, and that thing rolled out in 2011, 12?
New home is a 5-year, the tax abatements for apartments, I think, is 30.
30? Oh, wow, okay, that's a real incremental increase. All right, let me see, I think we got it all. I was gonna read this neat thing, but I'll read it next time. Okay, let me just get myself together here, folks. Thanks for your time.
Good evening, Christina Johnson. I'm a lifetime member of this firehouse. And before I begin, let me explain that I'm not being rude when I turn my back to you, but I really want to address the Mount Holly taxpayers and voters tonight. Okay? To all of you residents, voters, and taxpayers, there's an election coming up, both for Township Council and also the Board of Mount Holly Fire Commissioners. I would like to urge you all to vote, but before doing so, please take a look at the candidates and who is backing them. Please vote for members of the Town Council who actually care about Mount Holly. Vote for fire commissioners who actually care about all members and are not using the Board of Fire Commissioners as a stepping stone to be voted on to Town Council. Vote for fire commissioner members that are firemen, past or present, or come from a fireman household and know how dedicated and proud firemen are to their firehouse. Right now, currently, none of the fire commissioners are firemen. Right now, the current fire commissioners have not given lifetime members keys to the new firehouse. Lifetime members who have served the Mount Holly residents and businesses for over 50+ years, who always showed up to fight fires in this town, and it is shameful, very shameful. So again, I urge you to look at the candidates before you vote, and to vote for fire commissioners who take care of all members, active and lifetime, and who deserve to be elected.
Gene Kessler, 418 Langstaff Avenue, Mount Holly, New Jersey. I've brought several questions up regarding the township manager position. The current township manager was hired in 2017 at a salary base of $117,200. In 2018, 2019, and 2020, he received an annual $1,500 raise, which moved his salary up to $121,700. If he's under contract, did he get an annual raise for 21, 22, 23, 24? If it stayed at $1,500, that would put his salary base currently for 2024 at $126,200. If you raised it to $2,000 a year, it would put his current salary at $129,700. I've asked before, what does a township manager do? The quote was, runs daily operations, which I've come back to you and said is vague. I want to know, what exactly does the township manager do during his 30 hours of work a week? He doesn't work a 40-hour week. He only works about 30 hours a week. What exactly is his agenda or daily schedule of what he has to do? Because people have been coming to these township meetings. They bring issues and problems. We get no communications. We call, they don't return our calls. They don't return emails. You get no follow through. There's no monthly report presented each month of the residents' questions, problems, or concerns that have been brought forth to this council. Also, I've been to other township meetings and their department managers, whether it's code enforcement, chief of police, public works, they attend every meeting. Ours hasn't been here since 2017 that I know. If they can't be here every month for a township meeting, why are they not here quarterly? You keep raising our taxes and raising our taxes. Mine just went up again. And we get nothing. We are not getting nothing. Is our taxes being raised to take care of the LLCCs or these warehouses that are coming in here? Why is our taxes being constantly raised? Thank you.
Thank you. And for that note, to comment on Mrs. Kessler, we don't comment on personnel matters here. But we'll get into the rest later when we are on public comments.
Amber Coperbass, 100 Madison Avenue. I commented on trash before, but now that it's pretty open, I just wanted to say I had a great, my first Mount Holly 4th of July celebration. I didn't go last year because I thought it was being thunderstormed out, but I missed it. And so I thought that was just a really great event. My next question is about those pilots again. I understand it's just being transferred to whoever the new owner is, so I heard that it's 30 years for the apartments. Is there a schedule fee of what they're paying instead of taxes, or is it a complete?
There's a schedule.
Okay, so okay, because it just seems like a very long time.
Yeah.
And when they are doing that, does any of that go into the school tax?
It increases every 5 years, the pilots go towards the township, 5% goes to the county.
Okay, so in the township part is the school part? Or?
The township, there is no school part.
Okay, so everybody that's in the pilot doesn't pay towards the school tax? I'm just trying to make sure I understand correctly. Okay, all right, so that's, a bit of a concern over 30 years, with the length of my mortgage on my house, to not pay, especially into our school taxes, which we know schools everywhere could use all the help they can get. So I don't know how that's determined, but I wasn't here when that started to ask those questions. And then, is our assemblyman here too? He was okay. I did just want to say, with everybody here, your office also responded to me very quickly. His was just first. But I would encourage people to reach out to our state reps. When I had an issue with my anchor benefit, everybody responded to me within a day and a half.
His office and his office and staff.
Oh, okay, so then, Kristen, fantastic, wonderful, called me the next morning. So shout out to her. And then I just wanted to also kind of shout out, I know many of the people who are here who do have an interest and concerns with town. I thought the town hall meeting that I had to take notes for at the Quaker, the Friends Meeting House was really great. Those notes are gonna be coming out, and then with more meetings to follow. So if people wanna kind of come to the next one, we're just getting out ideas, things that we'd like to see happen. And then finally, since you're here, Senator, is there anything at the state level that would help? We've been in kind of a temporary meeting space for years, and as you probably heard tonight, a number of people have mentioned, they can't hear. It's difficult because we don't have everybody linked up, and it does seem to me and others to be an accessibility issue, when we have people who are hard of hearing, and nobody, people can't hear in the back. So is there anything that we could connect with you guys on to maybe help make that happen?
You can call our office and talk to Kristen.
Okay.
There may be grants that are available that we can help you with, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We'll look it up.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim Clore, 100 Ridgeway Street. A couple trash questions. Looking just at the different options, I wanted to know, I know you mentioned on the, yeah. All right, sorry, it's a little low. I have to bend down. So I know you said on the agenda it was to pick the company, I guess the servicer or the bid, whoever was giving the bid first and then the options. But just thinking through that, it was that, or the options you said you could make a motion for, wouldn't the reverse process be better in terms of deciding the option? And so my question is just, do all of the people that are submitting bids, can they offer all three options? Just because looking at the numbers, there's 3, 3, and 4. So just thinking ahead, if we choose a person and then they don't offer option 2 or 3, for example, then we would be stuck with option 1. So I guess my question is, why are we choosing the person before we choose the option that we want to go with? But the lowest bid per option is a little more important.
Every option, per RFP, you're obligated.
So how many companies provided bids then? Just because seeing the numbers are 3, 3, 4, that tells me that not everyone offers every option. So how many total companies put in bids?
We got
4 people put in bids. 3 for option 1, 3 for option 2, and 4 for option 3.
Now, 3 put in bids for option 1. I'm looking at your guys' chart. 3 put in for 1, 3 put in for 2, 4 put in for 3.
Correct.
Yeah, you said 4 for 1. Okay, so 3, 3, 4. So that's my question. So there's 4 total companies, right? So there's only 3 that offer all 3.
Waste management didn't want to do rear collection anymore, they're current.
Only two offered all 3 options, right?
And then the first one didn't want to buy the cars.
Yeah, so but wouldn't the process of selecting the option first and then taking the lowest bid from that option be a little more effective?
But this company that we are choosing is the lowest bid for all the options.
For all 3, okay, so there's someone for all 3. Okay, that's all, first thing I wanted to make sure. And then, yeah, and again, I was gonna say, Rich, that was a great idea in terms of the savings with the option 2 and then 3 years, because then there's no change as well. If we did go option 3, I was gonna suggest sort of what your question was. Maybe there would obviously be like a day to where you could just announce, like, if you have this one that meets the specifications, you come out and it gets stamped with everything like that. Like, just do like an official day for anybody that has it, that could come out, if we went with 3, of course, and they had their own that already fit the need. Like, that'd be, I guess, a cool thing, just to have an official day where everyone could bring it out and get a stamp on it. The only other question I guess I had was, the numbers here where it says like 16 the first year, like, are there other, for 5 years, like, what are years 2, 3, and 4, right? Because like, it just says 16, you could go 16% savings for year 1, and then 1% savings for 2, 3, and 4. Is there information that shows the other years? Okay, all right. I was just looking at the quick chart, so I didn't know, because again, it could be 16, 1, 1, 1, and then it could be 17, 15, 14, 13, like, that's obviously gonna be much better. So I guess that was my question. So it's just in the document. Okay, all right, that was it, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, next to that, 47 Garden Street. I wanted to make sure that I thanked Sherry for taking care of that dead tree that was on Buttonwood Street. That thing was scary, and I really appreciate that came down, so do the rest of the neighbors. There was some information that came to me about this whole trash thing. I believe there was a consultant that looked into it for us if we hired somebody. Is that the case?
The consultant put together the bid.
How much did that cost for that consulting job? 2,000 or 3,000? Thank you. And Senator Tiver, thank you for voting against the Oprah bill.
This is third time.
I know, but I have a question for him.
Can you save it for later, because we try to get to the minutes.
Come in?
Yeah, you can. Unless,
I'll wait till the end.
you wait till the end.
Sure.
Appreciate it, thank you, Senator.
I'll do that.
All right, let's let other people speak.
Okay.
Audrey Wisner, 2 Washington Street. I have some questions on the trash, and then I have one other question. So first of all is the consultant that you hired, that you retained to formulate the bid package. I read through the bid package, and I thought there were enough inconsistencies in that bid package to cause me a little bit of concern about the contract that I guess that they drafted. There was no contract in the response to my Oprah request, so I don't really know what's in the contract, but which was odd that the contract was not in my response to the Oprah request. But anyway, because I would think that would have been in the bid package, because I don't know how a contractor would know what they were signing. But anyway, I would be concerned about that a little, because there were a lot of inconsistencies in the bid package. Anyway, but many people have mentioned concerns about how the lowest responsive bidder would navigate the streets, and do their job, and to me, that's means and methods. I think those contractors have been out and scoped out the situation, and they have a plan, or they wouldn't be bidding, and I don't think they need our residents to be telling them how to do their business, so I think they've got it. So I realize everybody wants to tell them how to operate their trucks, but I think that they can handle that. But I do think that the bid and our ordinance only seems to mention households and multifamily units of 5 or less and municipal dumpsters. And it does not, I don't see anywhere where it talks about business solid waste collection.
In terms of, you're talking about the bid?
The
Which
bid,
option? Which option? Which option you referring to?
Any.
Well, option two, everything is remains the same as it is now.
Right.
So.
That's true.
So option 2.
Is it your allegation that
nothing
you're?
changes. Option 3, I think, is probably what you're referring to.
No, do you think that right now that we offer business pickup by ordinance?
Do we, Josh?
It just goes with regular trash collection.
Yeah.
We allocated enough trash cans in our bid to take into consideration the business.
That's not what I
That's
asked.
for option, Josh, just making sure that's for option 3, right?
I'm asking that, do we have municipal trash pickup by ordinance for businesses? That's right. That's right.
But for the, we don't have one specifically for the businesses, but.
We have,
Hold on, having businessmen been having their trash picked up through the residential ordinance, right?
I believe what you'll find is that you have multifamily units of 5 or less and residential. I could not find anything that said business. So my point is that with the tipping fee at the landfill at $100 a ton, even with the limit of 1 can, as a for instance, at 96 gallon can, that would put you at $25,000 a week in tipping fees. And that's not what you have right now, but I'm just saying, if you did.
So you're saying
So-
that that's something that's possibly could happen?
My allegation is that enforcement's your issue. Whatever you choose, whether you choose a 1, 2, 3, whatever you choose, I'm saying enforcement's your issue.
Gotcha.
Because regardless of what you decide on your collection, that's your problem. Because right now, right now you have 100 gallons. You can have 5 cans, right? 100 gallons. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, right? You can have 5 cans, 20 gallons
As
each.
the ordinance states.
Right? Yep.
5 cans or 5
If you're a
bags.
resident, you can have
5
5
bags.
cans, right? So you got 100, right? 100 gallons. You got 100 gallons, you got a half a cubic yard, right? So per residence, per week. But we don't, because you go past a lot of residences and they've got more.
We have allowed more people to put out more trash over.
That's right.
over time, but we
So
still
I'm
pick it
saying
up.
if you, yep,
But we still pick it up because if you leave it there, that causes issues.
I'm with you.
We've been actually doing more than what's the
So
ordinance.
I'm
is
saying your tipping fees going up, right? So I'm saying that right now, we take more than 100 gallons. We can't have business solid waste collection by our ordinance, but we do. We have absentee landlords who do nothing to educate their tenants, so they don't even have cans. They don't even have bags. They just throw it out the window. And I mean, I'm a business advocate, so I'm a Main Street Mountain business advocate. Believe me, I think that if you have a business that can fit within the residential, that can have it under our current ordinance,
So
under 5.
Are you suggesting well, one, we're definitely gonna have to, after all this discussion, we definitely will have to look at our ordinance anyways. I don't know when was the last time the trash ordinance has been updated. Prior to me, prior to Josh and everyone on this council. So that definitely has to be looked at. Now, are you suggesting that we do another ordinance for businesses too?
Well, I'm saying that they're very different than residents.
That's true.
And I'm saying that if you're a small business and you can fit within what I'll call the residential parameters, maybe you're a small business and you can have 1 can. And I'm saying that maybe you're not maybe you're not that. And I'm saying that there was a period in time where we had a discussion, where we tried to work with the township, the downtown businesses tried to work with the township and figure out what do we do? I mean, because, you know, it's not just as easy, it's not easy. And we need to come up with a plan, but you know what? It takes cooperation, it takes talking, it takes, you know what? It takes everybody being a united front and figuring it out. And we need to do that.
I would agree with that.
And so that, yeah, so it's not just saying, well, we're not gonna pick up businesses. It's not that. It's figuring it out. So yes, is what I'm saying. Yes, it does need to have a different tactic, but you can't just let your tipping fee go wild, and that's what we've done right now. So collection's not the point, it's the tipping fee.
Right, understood. But there's no perfect solution for any which.
There's
no
not.
perfect solution, so.
There's not.
The thing is, we've been doing more than what is stated.
Well, you shed light on it.
So
So-
that's, now we've opened up this discussion, so hopefully, like I said, we'll find some type of solution that most individuals would be acceptable
That's true.
to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should I get back in line? I have an absentee
I'll
landlord.
let you finish, go ahead.
I had trouble on White Street with 32 White Street, an absentee landlord. I have called the police out many times, they are working with me, but they don't feel that they have, anything in their toolbox, at least that's what the officers have told me, as far as their, ordinances. I'm not sure that I completely agree with them, but I could use some help. Maybe I need Josh's help. Maybe I need Josh and the chief's help, but I need some help, and I might not be the only person that needs some help with an absentee landlord in town. But maybe we need to, update our ordinances a little bit. I mean, I do read my peace and good order, ordinance, and I'm not sure that, the, house of ill repute ordinance really does me what I need, but, so maybe we need a little assistance. So, and we might be past that these days. But anyway, I maybe need some help.
So, what's the issue?
Oh, what, oh.
Or do you wanna take that offline?
Well, no, which,
32 White.
32 White, yeah, 32 White.
What's the issue?
Oh, what's the issue? He has, filled it with, 4 apartments worth of people that, their arguments and their fistfights and their, issues, have fallen out into the street now and, into the backyard and into the alley, and, they're terrifying the rest of my tenants.
Is it a nuisance property?
Oh, it would be a nuisance property, yes. I just don't have exactly, what I need, I don't think, with the ordinances.
You did pass a nuisance ordinance maybe 3 years ago?
Yeah, I'm not, help me with that.
Okay.
I'll talk to you.
We will, thank you.
Okay.
John.
Jen Champion, 3 Birch, came back around, sorry. I'll make this quick. Part of the problem with the houses that I showed you is actually enforcement. We've tried, a lot of the neighbors.
For this one right here?
Yes, a lot of the neighbors have tried repeatedly for 4 years to have the township, code enforcement and construction offices address some of the issues that they were doing as far as a DIY house lifting, and they have done numerous additions to both houses illegally. In fact, the last one, they have a permit to have a enclosed porch addition, and instead they added on another bedroom. It's been nonstop with them, but the thing that worries me the most is we watched the house jacked up, them dig a 5-foot hole for the foundation in the wetlands, so it fills up with water really fast. They had concrete delivered, dumped in, and within 24 hours, they had covered that over with dirt. The cement truck came back, put another layer of cement down, and they started building immediately on this foundation. It's now a 3-story house that's on unstable ground. And as far as all the ordinance goes, they're not supposed to have anything enclosed on the first floor, yet they're advertising that they have a partially finished basement. They should not have all of the bedrooms they have for the size of the septic, but the listing says that it's township certified for 4 bedrooms. They had it leak in when nobody was living there, and it was 2 bedrooms. You know, they literally pumped their sewage into the Rancocas Creek, and we could not get it stopped. But we have heard reports that the house that they sold already for $430 is having settling issues, where they are having to replace boards, drywall, things are cracking, and I assume that they are being told that it's normal settling, but with all the inspections that allegedly happened out there, you should probably look into that a little more and make sure that Paul Hardiford actually did a foundation inspection when the house was lifted, after it was put down, because if not, you're gonna end up with somebody's house collapsing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Champion.
Good evening. Arlene Pfeiffer, 494 Mary Street. A little different. I live up by the mount, and I've had to talk to, and I thank the township for getting those trees across the walkway removed. With the advent of COVID and new families and asking what they can do in the mountain, where they can go, or in Mount Holly, the mountain has always been a great place to walk, and our high school used to do cross country there. There used to always be people up there. What I'd like to see is hoping that we could get some kind of control for the poison ivy covering walkways. If you want to walk your dog up there, you're coming home with poison ivy. When we have a heavy rainfall, the foliage is coming off of evergreen, or off the mount, and just hanging over onto the roadway. We did have it cleared a few years ago, but they only did half of the mount. I mean, it's a great picturesque place. Businessmen were the ones who saved the mount to become a park. It is one of our parks. So I was hoping if we pay some attention to that. Next time it'll be the creek. I'll talk to you the creek next time.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Me and all my tree lovers there.
Hi, Heidi Winsinger, 34 Bartram Avenue. And I think I'm just reiterating some other code enforcement concerns. And I'm a dog walker. I try to walk in all the different parts of town and check things out. And you see things when you're just walking along the street. You know, I feel like I see cars on lawns, weeds that are just out of control, trash all over, things that have been stacked up on porches, and not just for a little while, like for years, you know. And so I don't know what the problem is. It used to be many moons ago when I actually tried giving information to the township. If I'm going by someplace, take a picture, send it in. It used to be kind of a situation where you could get your information to somebody and they responded and said, got your information, thank you, we actually are on this. Or, hey, we didn't see that, thanks, we will get on it. And then you could go back, I don't know, a few months later and get a report on it. That just seemed to stop. I don't know, I can't even count how many years ago. And so I sort of gave up, but it's not really fair to the other people that live next door to places or live on the same street to have this just go on and on and on. So I don't know what the problem is, and I don't even know who does code enforcement anymore because I've been so detached, but it's a problem. And I think what it says, especially when it's in our main thoroughfares, when somebody drives in here from out of town, it says this town doesn't care, and the people that live here don't care. And that's not fair, because there's a lot of great people here, and a few people are really you know, causing a problem. So I guess the next thing is the lack of attention to historic preservation. You know, we are a nationally recognized historic preservation district, and I just feel like so much, everybody wants to see the historic downtown and thinks it's so lovely, but is just disappearing little bit by little bit. And there used to be a historic preservation board. I don't even know what there is anymore, but it seems to me that this town, in order to preserve the last of its character, needs to do something, and maybe and something that's helpful, right? I think there's some people that are getting into these houses and they may not be able to handle it, right? Like it was a good deal, they got into it, and now, oh my God, it's like a giant house and I can't handle it. I don't know if there's ideas out there, like I think there's people that have ideas that want to work with the township. Whether I would rather raise funds for someone to fix their historic front door properly and find the good carpenter that knows how to do that, and raise funds for somebody that truly can't afford to fix their front door. It's a different case if they can afford it and do it. And I guess I'm out of time, but next time I want to talk about nonprofits who are not using their buildings. If they don't use their structure, they are not supposed to be getting nonprofit tax status.
Okay.
And in combination with my historic preservation concern, what is happening with the old church on Washington Street, the Catholic Church? Will it be a demolition by neglect? Because I can remember starting to complain about it, I can't even remember how many years ago. And I talked to the tax assessor at that point in time, and I asked him, I said, clarify for me, if they're not using it for their purposes, can they get nonprofit tax status for that property? And he said no, but the township had to take action. Did the township take action? Do they pay full rate taxes on that property?
You're asking if that, whoever owns that church?
Yeah,
They did lose their tax exemption.
They did lose their tax exemption.
how long ago? Because I mean, this has been going on for,
Maybe 2 years ago.
well, so before that, are they gonna owe the township taxes for the minute they bought the property till 2 years ago?
That's up to the assessor.
But if they haven't done anything for all these years, so what is happening to save that structure before it's just a demolition job?
From a township standpoint, we're not doing anything with that at this particular time. So
Was
we
it-
don't even own the property.
Oh, there's no code enforcement?
Code enforcement's probably been there. I think we've been in contact, well, we tried to get in contact.
At one point in time, there used to be, I know that when I was able to come to the township and talk to somebody, they were, doing something, because there was trees growing out of the tower and whatnot, and I know that got fixed, and the front big stained glass window was about ready to fall in, and I saw that they patched that many years ago, but since then, it doesn't seem like anything, so I
think
would.
that church, that property's been on our radar. So,
Okay, I'd
we
just
don't
like
have
to know,
any-
how
we
does
don't have any
citizen, how does
idea what to do with the property, it's not ours.
I didn't say to do anything, just keep it in good condition so that it can do something someday. I wanna know, how do you best communicate with code enforcement in this town as a citizen? And not through that app on the website, because nobody ever responds to you when you use that thing. So you think it just goes into a black hole, and that's not fair to us.
Thank you.
I just hope that everybody on the council and the manager would respond, make it in writing, because there's all concerns with the property.
Can you speak up, Jeff? Can you speak
Jeff
up?
Eversmeyer. I just would like to know that everybody on the council and our manager and our clerk address all the questions we've brought to you tonight.
You know we do.
And maybe something written or email to people, because it's just not right, because all the residents have these concerns, and every week we're gonna take it under advisement. We're not getting the responses and exactly what's being done.
Well, here's the thing, we do respond. So we respond to the individual that made the complaint, you know what I'm saying? So that's not, so you're asking for us to do a report for everybody?
I'd like some
to
responses.
have-
Like the
so
example
we-
that
we
these
do
houses on
respond-
Cage
we do
Track.
respond to the individual.
For years, they've been complaining about nothing
But
being done.
but I think that's kind of false too, because we do respond to individuals.
No, you don't. Well, if this is true, then this
We do.
wouldn't be
No, we
here,
don't.
she wouldn't be complaining about it. So somewhere the ball's been dropped between construction, code enforcement,
We can
and
always
all
look
sorts
into,
of
we
stuff.
don't, here's the thing, we have a handle on most issues, sometimes issues come through, we have to follow up on this particular household. So we don't have to talk.
Well, in particular, this one is very important, I think, so this should be addressed and we should know what happened.
And I'm pretty sure there's notes from when we talked to the code enforcement and the inspector and things like that. I'm pretty sure he has his notes too as well. Construction official. So we'll touch base with him.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for the redirect, Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Grand Street. Just two things quickly. Wanted to thank you for being here, but I also wanted to ask about the pamphlet that was given out about the resources for the veterans. So my husband and myself, we're both military veterans, but my question is, what about the elders in the community who are widows or widowers of veterans? I don't see anything in the pamphlet that specifies how to get them resources that they need. There's a lot of people here in my town that are widows or widowers, that need, services that I try my best to help them with, but I'm not really Jersey born and bred, so I'm always finagling, trying to find information for them. So that was my question, because there's nothing in the pamphlet for widowers or widows, plenty stuff for me, my husband, myself, and active duty members. All right, very well.
Not over my.
And Mr. Mayor, just one redirect. I just wanted to ask a simple question. This is coming from a couple of meetings ago. My question, and it seems that it's come up already a couple of times tonight. We know you guys are all part-time, so if we submit an email, because I said this before, I asked this question before, the email's gonna go to Sherry. Does Sherry disperse this email to Josh? Does she disperse it to you guys? And what is the turnaround time that if I send an email with a question or whatever the situation is, what is the accurate time frame that I should be able to say, you know what? It's been 2, 3, 4 days. Can I get a little angry then? Or like, hey, what's going on? Without getting flack back, okay? Okay, so what's the turnaround time? Because my intention is to.
Acceptable turnaround time?
Yes, acceptable.
So I mean, that depends on the workload. I mean, probably within a week or something like that, some type of an answer.
Okay, so your work week is not you, their work week is a 4-day work week, 9 to 3:30, 4:30 on a given day. Maybe one day is an extra long day. So if I email something to Sherry, she has a maximum amount of time of 1 work week, 4 business days, because you guys don't work 5 days. I wanna make sure I understand this correctly.
So
Because I'm gonna send an email and I want to
I'll
be able
let
to.
Sherry answer that particular question.
Okay.
Ms. Sherry, don't you normally respond to the residents' questions?
I try to the best I can, and if I can't, I have to send it to whoever might know the answer. So, you know.
All right, so hypothetically, if Sherry.
Do I try to respond immediately?
Yes.
Within
Well, and I
24
understand,
hours?
you can't answer everything.
No, I can't.
Within limits. So, but my thing is, I want to make sure I have an understanding, because there's things that I need to find out that's been staggering. And a meeting once a month, no 12-year-old is not getting it done. 3 minutes, not getting
But
it done.
I'm in the office every
Yes.
day, and I check my emails on Fridays, even
Okay,
if I'm not
so
in the
once
office.
you have your 4 days to redirect me, and it goes to one of these board members, what is the
If they're
turnaround?
the ones that
Yes.
can answer the question.
Okay.
If it's for construction and I have to send it to the construction official,
Okay, so I'm just looking for a time frame. So I'm looking for 4 days from you, and then how long for you?
I would say 1 week total. You
For
send me an email
everyone
on
that you
Monday, I will have an answer for you the next Monday. How about that?
Very well, thank
There you
you.
go.
Thank
If
you.
not sooner.
All right, I'm seeing after this one, we're gonna take the last comment, for the most part, or after Louis.
For John Swenson, 34 White Street, I'd like to concur first about the absentee landlords in 32, because I live right next door, and it is madness over there. I have a question about the trash. Are any of those companies union shops? Do you know?
You don't know that, right? You don't know. I have no clue.
Okay, and a little while ago, there was a resolution passed to put the stop sign for Monroe and Biscombe. Do we have an ETA on that?
What's your question?
The stop sign. There was a resolution passed to put the stop sign in for
Monroe
Monroe and Biscombe.
Monroe and Biscombe.
Yeah, what's the
To put
ETA
the
on
stop
that?
sign in? Josh? I think that was done, right?
No.
It should be done.
Yeah, it's not.
So the stop sign is not there?
No.
Okay.
When we report, construction trash to code enforcement, like the stuff that misses the bin, cause I've had to replace like 4 tires in my household. From like nails and things like that, is that a code enforcement? Did we get in touch with, you think maybe the landlord? Like,
Oh, so you're saying that the debris
Yes.
that's being picked up
yes.
is causing, they're dropping stuff
Whatever.
that's not making it into the
Mhm.
bin?
Yeah.
And it's causing issues with you said you
I replaced 4 tires.
all at once?
No, yeah, well, twice once,
Okay,
all at once.
all right. That's an interesting question, in terms of that. We can contact the current trash. I know we're in constant communication with them to make sure that they are.
Cause I know they have like their own bins and stuff that they use. But
You're
I've
on White
cleaned it
Street,
a couple
do
times.
they
I'm
come
on
by
White.
with the automatic arm, or they do the rear load?
No, these are people that are doing like rebuilds on houses and stuff like that.
Oh,
They
you're talking about the
have their own.
construction?
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about the contractors with dumpsters and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All
So-
right, yeah, that's cool, that would be probably.
Is that code
construction,
enforcement?
Right, go for construction gets the permit.
Yeah, construction gets the permit, and code enforcement can, so what we'll do is we'll contact code enforcement for you. So, is it, now let me ask you this question, is there any current construction going on right now?
Not right now.
But this happened in the past?
Yeah, it just wrapped up probably a week or so ago.
Okay, gotcha. We'll touch base with code enforcement on that, and see what can be done in that situation. That's unfortunate for you, I'm sorry about that, but that's unfortunate.
It's crazy. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Louis.
Good evening, Louis Lopez. I live in 98 Level Drive in the great city of Mount Holly in the county of Burlington. I want to thank everybody for July 4th. It was a great event. You know, it was shared over 10 times on my Facebook Live, and it went beyond East Coast. It went straight to California. It went to Winnipeg in Canada. You know, the views coming from, and they enjoy the Mount Holly fireworks for all those kind of countries. And second question is, explain a revolution on the second agenda item. Can you explain more?
Which number, which one, Louis?
The second one, pertaining to the level drive.
The Smith Grain application?
Yeah, for the level drive.
It's a DOT application grant, so it's we usually get one every year if the state allows it to happen. It's basically to replace the infrastructure and the road on Levis Drive between Parker's Mill and Regency Drive, right around the school.
Second is, I want to thank everyone, you know, for thinking cool comments, and I say you're doing a great job. I wish that there would be a better solution. I mean, have a extreme 4K video installed right here. You know, man, this gets a mobile phone. It gets some, you know, some. Well, I like to see, a stone-based internet. You know what I mean? So they have qualified for a video. You know, everyone can see what's going on in this amazing town. Or I like to see Mount Holly Township itself just to use, you know, as a, you know, use maybe, you know, not, it's not edited, just use it, you know what I mean, as a video minutes, you know what I mean, in case it's something like an audio is not it's missing. Oh, you could go to those, you know, videos to find, you know, in case of audio recording not work or any other thing, you know, if you feel to work and use it. You know what I mean? It's perfect, you know, view, everything. Second is, I know Mr. Tyler for a couple of years since the county freeholder known as the commissioner. I want to thank everybody, you know, for coming up, and the best thing I did is at the Mount Holly 12. The second is to work in the 12 at 4:30 in the morning and to see, you know, how it's different. It never changed. I see, you know, beautiful creatures, everything, and the heart rate, you know, beating, but everything was cool, and I like the police, you know, stopping by and to see how I'm doing. And, you know, I'm working nighttime. I appreciate them just stopping by and say hi. And thank you for everything you do.
Cool, thank you, Bruce. Cool. All right, hold on. Bruce was gonna be the last one. Is there anyone else after this gentleman right here? After that, we're capping it, we're closing the public portion, because we gotta move it on. So these last two gentlemen will be the last two.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. My name is Ken Pipes. I live at 35 Hainesport, Mount Laurel Road, in the town of Hainesport. I am a taxpayer in Mount Holly. I also manage properties in this town that the nonprofit that I direct owns. When I go to land use planning boards, one of the big questions on any application is, what are you gonna do with the trash? And you have to answer that question responsibly, or you risk not getting approvals. The problem we have in Mount Holly is prior non-conforming uses don't fit into the categories that make it easy to do trash collection. Small, narrow lots that have car parking in the front of the property make it difficult for the trash collection, no matter what kind of a system you use. You better be prepared for people making requests for exceptions to any rule that you adopt. And I can't imagine the properties that are here and been apartment buildings for 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 years being limited to one trash can. Because multiple people today are using a lot more goods and trashing them than they used to in previous generations. Our waste disposal issue has grown significantly with the packaging that comes from Amazon and other deliveries, and the way the packages are made now with plastics. It's a horrendous issue. So you're not going to be applauded for any decision that you make. But I would encourage you to be prepared to deal responsibly with people who have problematic situations that they can't find reasonable solutions for when you finally adopt whatever of those three options you have. So I just want to encourage you to be ready for some kickback and some cries because people have legitimate concerns you need to listen to and respond responsibly. The second thing I want to say is the good news for Mount Holly. The nonprofit that I operate, Salt and Light Company, has been awarded $2 million by the Department of Community Affairs to do lead remediation and abatement in properties where there are lower income families living. As you well know, probably every rental unit in New Jersey has to have a lead safe inspection, and we've been funded, like a lot of other nonprofits in the state, to address the problem properties that exist in various communities. So I want you to know that sometimes I'm criticized for making up issues out of things that aren't issues, but I'm here to provide solutions to people who have problems that their children are being affected by lead paint and the dust that gets into their brain that's a lifelong hazard. So I'm here to provide a solution, and I hope that you recognize that effort.
Thank you. This gentleman's the last gentleman.
Jason Carty, 10 Middleton Drive, Lumberton. Yes, I'm a resident in Lumberton, as someone mentioned earlier, but I'm a taxpayer here in town. Just want to put on the record that I have nothing to do with any trash collection, sanitation, or I wouldn't be running burning buildings for the last 20 years. So that was kind of absurd, but hey, if you say something enough times, people start to believe it. But that was pretty absurd. Secondly, I'm not the head of Rancocas Valley Democrats or the head of any organization that's represented on my the sign in front of my building. The reason I came here tonight was I was a little perturbed, a little disappointed actually with last month's meeting. The liquor license renewals were on the agenda, and I opened in some emails, and I got this one from the township clerk Sherry to Councilwoman Astor because she decided to pull a certain liquor license off the consent agenda. In the email, she says there was a liquor license transfer. Again, this is from Sherry to the councilwoman. Liquor license transfer that needed to be done. All the information was provided in the resolution that the state says needs to be provided by law. There was no misinformation or impropriety. And for you to allude that this is unprofessional and is unprofessional and immature. I don't have my glasses, I'm sorry. It is not up to me to judge who the license is for. My job is to make sure the criteria has been met for the transfer and a renewal to take place. Further, it is your job to vote on liquor license renewals in the same fashion. All the licenses on the resolution last night met the criteria for being renewed. to pull one off specifically because you don't like who owns the license. It tells me that this isn't about the town as a whole for you, and it's a shame. I expect an apology at the next meeting. I hope that apology is actually issued because Sherry does a great job. I'd just like to say a lot of people talk about supporting businesses and downtown. So I would like to know why you would pull a liquor license renewal that was pretty much procedural. It has no violations. In fact, it's a pocket license, so it can't have any violations. Why you would pull that off the agenda, and one of you vote no and one abstain. My 72-year-old mother spent her life savings on that license last year and plans to open up her life's dream of a wine bar downtown. And so why are you trying to send me that and pull it off of the agenda and vote no on that?